Hold on. Hold on. All right. We're live. Let's see. All right. So welcome. We're reviewing the footage. First, we gotta see the Taylor Greene interview. Recently, Taylor Greene has been revolting against Trump. She actually resigned. I think the beginning of January she's leaving. She's also gonna try to ask to take out the Speaker of the House. People call him Mega Mike. She's burning the whole ship down. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what Trump did. You know, I just started seeing the news. I know she was like a hardcore like Trump supporter, but recently like she's been going crazy on him. And then she's saying that he's not America first and all that. So we're gonna be reviewing the footage and see what she's been saying.
Jump in here. This is a question I bet you have gotten a lot, but I want to ask it to you directly. You announced that you're resigning your seat in Congress. Why did you make that decision?
Well, I put out a lengthy video on that issue explaining all of my thoughts and feelings, really addressing the issue. And it just comes down to this. I have fought for the Republican Party and President Trump for years, spending a lot of the time on the road.
She has. The last election, she was going super hard on him. She was going all over, all out for him. So I'm really surprised this came about.
Investing millions of dollars, helping get Republican candidates elected, and helping President Trump return to the White House after a historic election in November of 2024. I've also supported the Republican Party, paying all of my membership dues every single Congress, which is significantly important. And
Wait, what dues? I didn't know they had to pay dues.
And really working hard to bring the policies forward through legislation that our voters very much want to see made into law and promoted. However, when it came down to standing with women who were raped at 14 and 16 years old, women who were victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and others, they say there are others, the President Trump called me a traitor. And that was...
He did. He went up on her. The thing about Trump, like, he does not like when people betray him. As soon as you betray him, he burns on that bridge. And that's what happened with this administration. He has a lot of loyalists now. Like, a lot of the Supreme Court, most of them are handpicked by him, and they're agreeing with every court order he has. You know, some of them I don't even agree with. You know. So let's see, but she burned that bridge down though.
Shocking, and really completely outside the bounds of anything that should have happened. And so for me, this became an important decision between myself and my family, and it wasn't something I took lightly.
You mentioned President Trump's comments calling you in a Truth Social post a traitor. You were a vocal ally of the president's through.
I think the reason he also got elected is a lot because of her and Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk got the youth to vote for Trump. That's a fact.
All three of his campaigns. Did you feel betrayed by President Trump when he said that?
Well, you know, here's the thing is I very much support America First policies. And so to me,
I've also been seeing her a lot doing CNN interviews. I'll check that out later.
My loyalty lies is to those policies and the people who elected me. And I very much appreciate the district, and I've never changed any of my policy views. However, I think that for the president to call me a traitor for standing with these women, I honestly don't really care what his opinion is. I know I did the right thing standing with rape victims is something that should be the easiest thing to do. It shouldn't be political. And unfortunately, it was turned into just a gigantic argument and
It's
stall
traffic,
tactics
the
between
screen
the
for you
president
guys.
and the speaker. And it was unfortunate to see that happen.
Have you spoken with the president since he made that comment about you?
No, I have not spoken to him.
I think also she sent him a text message saying that she was getting death threats and he didn't care about it, or he responded really late or something like that.
You, prior to this rift between the two of you, correct me if I'm wrong, were fairly close in communication, right? I mean, this is a real shift for your relationship.
Less and less throughout this year. He's the president, so he's been very busy. In spite of what he said, I have not been calling him. He claims that that's happened, but I have not been calling him. The last time we spoke was back in September, and it was an unfortunate argument about the Epstein files, where he told me people were going to get hurt. And
He also didn't he campaign. He didn't campaign. His whole campaign was about the Epstein files too. So I remember that. But now he doesn't want to release it. It's kind of fishy, you know. Like, why not?
And I had told him, I said, the people that have gotten hurt are the women who have been victims of this. And the government, for whatever reason, administration after administration, has completely kept it covered up. And so,
Because a lot of them are involved.
The only people
The only-
that were hurt are the victims. And if rich, powerful men get exposed for this, no matter who they are, I don't care what political party they are, and I don't care who they are, then they deserve to be exposed.
You mentioned, you said earlier, you feel like you've always been aligned with America first. President Trump has campaigned on that.
You know what's crazy? Like, just look at what all the immigration policies Trump has had. He went super hard on the minorities. That now, like Miami, got its first mayor in 30 years that's a Democrat. And well, later on we're gonna get into it, but the political scene is shifting to the Democratic ones because he went too hard. Like I agree, right? Like if they're going for the worst, right? Because obviously, you know, if people are committing crimes and all that, like the Venezuelans taking advantage of the situation where they were getting benefits and living off the government for like a year, and they were putting TikToks about that. You know, of course, you know, everybody's gonna get some sort of hate against them, but that's what they messed everything up because they started making it seem like all Hispanics were living off the government. And that's not true because the Venezuelans were living off when they got to the border, they got TPS, temporary protected status. Then then Texas and all those start shipping them to sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities should have not been giving them like freebies, because then everybody else started noticing, and then they all want a piece of the pie. And when they got denied, and they're like, well, we're Americans, probably why are you helping them out when we need help too? So you kind of, you know, you could resonate what the population was feeling, you know, with the Venezuelans. Like, I remember the police stations, right? They used to be packed outside with tents and all that, people cooking outside, you know, and then you would see all these TikTok videos where people were saying, oh, I'm leaving of your taxes for a whole year. I think it was in New York, the guy, I think he already got deported. But, you know, it made people get mad. You know, it made people think that all immigrants were like that. But it's different because people who come here illegally, right, they spend $10,000 to $15,000. So they come with a debt in their back. So as soon as they get here, they start working. The Venezuelans, they didn't have a debt. You know, it's kind of like when you're young and your dad gives you like a console and you didn't work for it. So if it breaks, it's kind of not a big deal. But your dad gets mad at you because, you know, he gave you this and then you misused it. It's kind of like that. The Venezuelans got everything for free and they were misusing it. The dad in the situation is the government and the population. They're like, well, we're giving you all this so you could prosper and not be a debt to society, and you're misusing it. So they get them out of here. But because they did that, they grabbed everybody along with them. Even the people that we're over here being productive members of society, not living off welfare, not living off the government. Because this was a lot of lies, like oh, there were illegals were uh, living off the government. You can't really do that because you need a social security card. But since they put the Venezuelans, right, which they had socials because they had temporary protected status and they had an EAD card, employment authorization card, and then they were kind of in limbo with their status, so they would classify them as legals. So that's what we're saying. There was like 7 million illegals that got social security numbers. No, they were the people that were in temporary protected status. So their status was in limbo because they were asking for asylum. So they got social security numbers. The illegals that have been here for 20, 30 years that being productive members of society, they never got social. They probably got an ITIN number to claim taxes, and a lot of them don't get that money back. All of them don't get that money back because they know that they don't get that money back because they're not here legally, but they still file their taxes, and sometimes they put fake social security numbers, like they just invent them, right? And all that money goes into the SSI for the retirement people, and that gets lost in there. Let me see, how much was it? One second. And I know this is a number. How much do illegals contribute to SSI? $25.7 billion goes into SSI every year from illegals. That money gets lost because obviously they're illegally here. They do their taxes through the ITIN number, so they're not gonna get retirement benefits. This is the money that the government just keeps for themselves, and nobody's making a big fuss out of that because the people who are here legally, they know that's a price to pay in a way, and they're happy with it. Even have you seen people marching saying, "Oh, SSI kept my retirement money"? No. They know that they did bad by coming here, but they're trying to contribute to society by putting $25.7 billion into Social Security taxes. But like I said, the Venezuelans were having work authorization cards, and a lot of sanctuary citizens where they messed up. They were providing them for like a year of free housing. And I understand that, like I think it was in Chicago, they did like a town meeting, and the lady's like, "How do you have millions of dollars, right, for construction for a place for them to stay at?" Which I forgot how much it was, and then like we be asking for you guys to renovate our schools, and you tell us every year we do not have the money for it. You could resonate with the population there. Like, how do you actually come up with all this money, but all this money to renovate our schools, you're telling us no? It's like if somebody goes into your house, right, and your son tells you, "Mom, can you buy me pants?" And you're like, "No, we don't have the budget for it." But then somebody from like a church or somebody from work comes to the house and be like, "Hey, can you let me borrow money?" And you give him money. Obviously, your son or daughter is gonna get mad. So, and then that's, I think, where Biden messed up. He did open the borders. He was kind of letting everybody come in, and that's not right, because those people, yeah, they came in. If they would have been productive members of society, most of them, and not living out the government, everybody would have a different picture of them. But they didn't, and then that created hate, and with that hate is why we're living now. I'm not all left, I'm not all right. Like, I like some of the Trump's policies, but I also don't like some of, like I said, I'm not left, I'm not right. I like both each. I wish there was a candidate last year where he would have not been super right, not super left, but fair. Fair. Like what's happening in Dearborn. Where people are doing the prayers at 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and the loudspeakers, and the police are not doing anything. I don't agree with that. Yeah, there's freedom of religion, but you shouldn't be putting your customs and all that on other people. You should keep that to yourself. Like Christians, when they go to church, you don't even hear like the bells or anything like that. You know, sometimes Catholics do like every hour, but most Christians just stay to themselves. Yeah, they go soul winning. They go knock doors, say, hey, would you be interested in this and this and that? But that's about it. You say no or yes, I won't. But that's about it. But for them to put in their prayers at 5 in the morning 3 or 4 times a day in the loudspeakers, nobody wants to hear that. You know? I'll be super pissed. And then that's why what happened with Dearborn recently, one of the YouTubers went there and it got all chaotic. But this has to be respect. You know, I feel like America's all about respect. You know, yeah, we embrace all the cultures and all that, but you also gotta respect the people here and their customs. You gotta accustom to the United States. You know, yeah, it's fine to bring culture from wherever you come from, but you also gotta resonate with the culture, what people here. You know, you can't be coming to the U.S. and trying to change things, and I think that's what's happened with the Somalians in Minnesota. It didn't help them where that congresswoman, what's her name? Omar? Ian Omar, I think's her name. Where she's saying, oh, our Somali people and this and that, the country for, I'll show you. Let me see if I can find it. Ian, what's her name? Omar? Congresswoman. Somali. She said something about. She said something about how she's doing to represent her people from Somalia, but she's not supposed to represent the people from Somalia. She's supposed to represent the whole people of her state. You get it? Yeah, like I said, it's good to have culture. Let's say if I were, you know, hypothetically, if I was a congressman, yeah, I'm Mexican, right? My culture is Mexican, everything. But I wouldn't just be looking out for Mexican people. I'd be like, you know, talking to the people, you know, different cultures. Okay, this is your problem. This is you having this problem, and try to resonate with them and try to come up with a fair solution. Not just be biased with my culture. Oh yeah, Mexican, everything. No, once you're in the public office, you're supposed to be for the public, for the people. You know, the problems that people are trying to address you and try to get some sort of balance for each to make everybody happy. But when she's saying that, and then it didn't help them that they got in $1 billion fraud scheme. You know, I feel like they just keep digging themselves in a hole. Yeah, and yes, you know, maybe a lot of Somalians are here making a better life for themselves, and I agree with that. But if you're scamming the system, right now it's not doing you no favors for any of us. Like right now, the Hispanics are getting attacked, you know, getting stopped. You know, the Somalis are getting stopped. Like it's just chaos. So by you defrauding the government, all that stuff, you're just giving the Trump administration more weapons to come at you harder. But that doesn't mean everybody's doing it. And I agree. If you're doing fraud and all that, if the government catches up to you, yeah, they should convict you. You know, because that's our tax dollars getting, you know, messed up, you know, wasted. You know, but if you're a productive member, say, yeah, you should. I think they should get an opportunity to stay and find their asylum, because if they have a pending asylum case, they should be able to fix it and go with it, not just getting arrested right now before the asylum case gets denied. But and then I saw that, and then I even reported on it on my TikTok. Follow my TikTok, GMV Pod. You know, this one.
Now we can tell you that they are stopping the sweeping raids, those Home Depot raids. We're not going to be seeing Home Depot in the background of these videos.
No more of those.
Not for the foreseeable future. Right now, we're going to be looking at targeted enforcement operations. As are going to be individuals
And I feel he did that because like the 33 Senate seats are in jeopardy next year. A lot of people are not rocking with the mass immigration rates at the Home Depots, at different spots. They're not rocking with it because they feel oppressed. I wouldn't feel safe. So now he's switching tactics. Instead of doing mass immigration raids, he's going to be targeting individuals like traffic stops.
Who have committed heinous crimes. Because remember, everybody who's crossed the border to this administration is a criminal. So just saying they're going after criminals is not necessarily enough anymore. They're going to be going after targets, people that they're on a docket, people that they know have committed crimes like rape, murder, things like that. But they're not going to necessarily be doing these sweeping raids. Now, we'll also see them on traffic stop enforcement as well. That's something that we can also see them doing, running license plates, seeing if someone is here legally or not, and then making the apprehension through that. But we're not going to be seeing them necessarily grabbing people off the street.
So like I say, he's shifting tactics now because, like I said, nobody was rocking with it. But I'm pretty sure if the election's winning and those 33 Senate seats get taken by Republicans, he's probably gonna go back to the same BS. But he's burning the Republican Party because being oppressed, nobody likes to walk down the street and think that you're gonna get stopped. Everybody's used to a way of life in America where you're able to walk around the street and not get harassed. And I understand, that Biden did let people come in, unvetted, and they were giving them TPS and they were living off the government for free. The Venezuelans mostly, like let me see, Venezuelan. Sorry, I can't type to free New York. Let's see if it pops out on TikTok. Like this guy, oh man, this guy used to piss me off so much. He will brag about how I'm living rent free and all that. You see this food stamps, the free meals, and then they will be complaining about the food. Like me, I'm a guy that if you waste food, you're a douche. I cannot stand people wasting food, and I appreciate that you have a meal every day. And this guy right here, this guy, he was like saying, "Oh, I'm living rent free for a year. You guys go work and bring taxes in so I can live for free." Let me see. He says, it says 1 year living rent free in New York.
Ciudad de Nueva York, un año gratis viviendo en Estados Unidos.
1 year living for free in the USA.
Muy feliz y contento.
I'm very happy and satisfied for all the help that you guys have given the Venezuelans.
Por todo el apoyo que nos han brindado como venezolanos. Estamos sumamente agradecidos.
We're very grateful.
Pues nada, quería mostrarle que aparte de que no se paga alquiler.
He says, and I wanted to thank you because apart from us not paying any rent,
de que no tenemos que tener preocupación.
We don't have any what's that, preoccupation? No, we don't have any worries or responsibilities to pay anything or pay the stores because they were getting link cards.
Pues el gobierno no ha dado la ayuda de la tarjetica roja.
The government has given us help with the red card
de $1,000 mensuales.
of $1,000 monthly. Bro, I pay so much money in taxes this year. Every year I pay a lot of money in taxes. And he's telling me he's getting $1,000 monthly. It's not just me that would get pissed off. A lot of people got pissed off. And because of individuals like this making videos saying, haha, I'm living off the government for free, that's why we're in the times we are right now. Because individuals like that. And it's sad because a lot of people are hurting. You know, ever that phrase like when because of one, many pay? It's because of this guy. It's because of this guy. Because of this guy, this whole situation got messed up. You know, a lot of Venezuelans were taking advantage of the system. And now unfortunately in Minnesota, a lot of people were doing fraud, Medicaid fraud. Let me see if I could look it up. Medicaid fraud, Minnesota. There a new one? Oh, geez.
A whistleblower is now accusing a contractor in Maine of defrauding taxpayers out of millions of dollars over the course of 7 years. It's a story you'll see first here on the Hill and exclusively on News Nation. And it centers on Maine's Medicaid program. The business at the center of the allegations, founded by a Somali American.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. On the follow on Facebook. Appreciate you.
Our Rich McHugh joins us live tonight from Lewiston, Maine with his exclusive reporting. Hello, Rich.
And I guess a lot of people knew that this was going on, and a lot of people got rich out of this. And then the bad thing, they were sending this to Somalia, and then there were terrorist groups that were benefiting out of this. So because of this, a lot of people in the Somali community are getting targeted, and then I think they stopped giving citizenships ceremonies for a lot of people and different things because of this. What happened? So like I said, if you come in this country, live peacefully, follow the laws and everything. Don't make the hole bigger for yourself, because a lot of people are gonna miss the opportunity to be able to get, legal statuses because of people defrauding the system, and because of because a few rotten apples, a lot of people pay the consequences. And that's why we live in times, like I said, because of the Venezuelans, now with the Somalians,
Hi, Blake. Yeah, we're here in Maine, but this story is eerily reminiscent of the scandal that's evolving in Minnesota. We spoke with a whistleblower who alleges that millions have been bilked from the state here, from taxpayers and the Medicaid system, and that a Somali American-led health services contractor is at the center of it all.
I thought that we were doing the right thing this whole time. And the more I started digging, the more I started finding. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, that this was happening and that I was part of this.
Chris Bernardini spent 7 years working for Gateway Community Services, a Somali American-led health services contractor in Maine. Bernardini alleges Gateway oversaw a system in which false records were filed about client visits. And he says they charged taxpayers for providing services that were never performed.
We started
and I heard about this, that they would have like little offices, and then nobody would work there. They were like shells.
getting some clients calling and saying, months later that their client owed them hours. They hadn't come in for these shifts and stuff. But I had a time card for it.
And they were billing for it.
They were billing for it.
In March of 2022, Gateway received a notice of violation from the state's Maine Care Services Program Integrity Unit based on an audit of records taken at random from January 2017 through December of 2018. Gateway overbilled by an estimated $904,000.
In your professional opinion, what you saw was fraud.
Absolute.
No doubt about it.
No doubt.
$904,000 in fraud, Medicaid fraud.
About it.
But Bernardini says when the pandemic hit, it got worse.
I started seeing bonuses, $2,000 bonuses going to these staff.
My thing is, if he saw this, why is he saying things now and not back then? Was he getting a piece of the pie?
That had only been with us for 2 weeks, never worked a shift with a client, and yet the PPP loan comes. You're giving $2,000 away like they're lollipops at a doctor's office.
In April of 2024, Bernardini wrote to the Department of Homeland Security seeking whistleblower protection. They referred him back to the state of Maine. Nearly a year later, Gateway fired Bernardini. The company's founder and CEO,
Oh, he got fired.
Abdullahi Ali, a Somali American who, while at the time serving as executive director for Gateway, last year ran for president of Jubaland, a state in Somalia's south that borders Kenya.
Jubaland? Where's that at? Let me see that. Jubaland. Oh, that is a country. It's in the maps. Where is that at? Where's Jubaland at? Images. I've never heard of that before. Oh, is it? No, I don't think that's it. Jubaland in Africa? I don't know. Pretty unknown.
Posted on X. I make no apologies for building a successful business in Maine, working hard to earn a living, earning my PhD, giving back to my Maine community, and running for office in Jubaland. I am proud to contribute my hard-earned dollars to support my people back home. We reached out to Ali for comment multiple times. We even came to Gateway to try and speak with him. Hello. I'm with News Nation. My name is...
Like I said, some bad apples ruin it for everybody else. So he was using the Medicaid fraud to try to become president of Jubaland.
No comment? Is Mr. Ali here? Can we speak with Mr. Ali? Republican State Senator Matt Harrington has called on Governor Janet Mills to investigate.
It's just an absolute insult to the Maine taxpayer. That we know that there's this Medicaid fraud going on by Gateway Community Services. We're seeing nothing from the Mills administration on this, and I think it's appalling.
I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I took so much of my time and put so much of my life into this agency that just tossed me aside. It's caused me to reflect a lot, and
I don't know. I feel like he was getting some money out of that. Right?
And speak up more when I see something. It's not right.
Is he crying?
Now, we have reached out repeatedly to Mr. Ali, to Gateway behind me. We've reached out to Governor Janet Mills, the head of Health and Human Services here. We've even reached out to the 3 Democratic Somalian American state reps here. Nobody would speak with us. Blake?
Rich McHugh, live for us tonight, Lewiston, Maine, with that News Nation exclusive. Rich, thank you. Joining us now for reaction from Monticello, inside the great state of Maine. Representative Donnie Ardell with us tonight here on the Hill. Donnie, you've been listening to that, and thanks for being with us. Your reaction to Rich speaking to this whistleblower?
Well, I have to agree with Senator Matt Harrington, where the executive branch of Maine government has, apparently dropped the ball. There's apparently no movement on an investigation, even though an investigation seems absolutely.
I don't know, man. I'm getting bored. These people are running for everybody else, and and then you just giving the Republican Party more weapons to use against you. But let's move on. We were at Marjorie. She was crashing out. We got sidetracked. My bad, chat.
Slogan as well as the slogan of "Make America Great Again."
I just started talking and went off and ended up being jubilant.
Do you feel like you're still part of the MAGA movement?
Well, I'm America First, and I continue to use that policy title because that's really what I believe in. I believe that means not funding foreign wars. Really,
I also think that the budget for the U.S. government this year's next year coming is almost $1 trillion.
On our economy, on affordability, on solving the massive crisis of healthcare, the health insurance policies that are so expensive nowadays for many people. And, of course, I very much believe in strong, secure borders. And I think the administration has done a good job of securing the border. But my view of America First means putting the American people first, not the donor class, not the big industries, but really the American people.
Do you think President Trump has left behind those ideals that he campaigned on?
Well, I certainly hope not. And we had a few splits in that area leading up to this. I was against getting involved in bombing.
Why does it fleck like that in the background, though?
I really believe when we say no more foreign wars, we should stick to it. I think
there's the U.S. is always going to be involved in something. the military complex is too big for it to like not have something going on. Imagine where you gonna do all those plants. You know, where they build the bombs and the missiles and all that. Something always has to be going on, otherwise they go broke.
What's happening in Venezuela is that's kind of going against no more foreign wars. That's kind of creating one and dabbling in regime change, and we should not be doing that. I very much believe that the focus should be the economy. It should be helping people. You know, people were knocked down really bad over 4 years after COVID, and during the Biden administration, we saw inflation skyrocket, and people just haven't gotten back up on their feet. And, you know, I had said, you know,
Well,
park
thank
Air Force
you.
One in the hangar and stay
Thank you for
home
subscribing,
and
Mustafa,
stop this continuing
on Facebook.
revolving
Appreciate
door of
y'all.
foreign leaders in the White House. Let's pull the healthcare executives in there and talk to them, and let's start working on things that matter for Americans. He and I differed on a couple of things. A central bank digital currency, I'm against that, and so is my district. And unfortunately, there was a loophole in the Genius Act, so I voted no to that. I'm against H-1B visas replacing American jobs, and he's continued to support them.
But didn't he make those like really expensive, like 100,000 per applicant?
600,000 Chinese foreign students coming in and taking away opportunities from American students at American colleges and universities. So those were some key, you know, disagreements. Oh, and as well, the state moratorium for AI. I think state rights are extremely important, and states need the right to regulate and make laws on AI and the future of AI. And people are terrified, especially in my district, of having their jobs replaced by AI.
Everything's gonna be replaced by AI. AI is too powerful. Everybody's using it now daily.
So these were some areas the president and I disagreed on, but really the ultimate, it came down to the Epstein files, you know, women that were raped. And I'm not going to apologize for that.
That was something I wanted to ask you, and I think you're getting to it, but there's this long history of some ruptures in the relationship between you and the president over recent months. Was there one deciding moment that made it clear for you that you were going to resign?
Well, you know, it's interesting.
I just know why is she gonna resign? Wouldn't she be able to make more of a difference if she's still in Congress?
President Trump called me a traitor, but I voted with him 98% of the time. That's not really someone you could call a traitor. He brought in.
It's because he likes yes people. You gotta rock with him 100%. You can't just pick and choose. So for him, his mentality, you're a traitor, even though you did help him 98% of the time. But that's because, and that's what I'm saying, that Trump has a lot of yes people. And in his last, when he was last president, he came in, he didn't have like loyalists. Like now in this administration, he made sure that he put a lot of people in power that were gonna make him get away with a lot of stuff that he wanted to do. A lot of policy changes. Look at the Supreme Court. They keep agreeing with him, even though some stuff sounds really unconstitutional, you know?
A terrorist that's now the Syrian president, who was wanted by our U.S. government with a $10 million bounty on his head up until March of this year. And I guess that was dropped under the Trump administration. He brought him into the White House, called him a great guy, sprayed his cologne all over him.
Yeah, and that guy, I forgot his name. The new Syrian inter president. He was with Al Qaeda. I'm pretty sure nobody's forgotten 9/11. I was probably like 7 years old when that happened. You know, so how do you bring a terrorist to the White House? It's crazy.
And a week later, he called me a traitor for keeping my name on the discharge petition and supporting my friend Thomas Massey and supporting the Epstein women. But really, what it ultimately came down to was the president only sees loyalty as apparently a one-way street, and that's only to him. And he didn't care about all of the ways I had supported him and helped him become president, and supported his policies. I have many pieces of legislation that support his own executive orders like Protect Children's Innocence Act. That was one of his main campaign promises to the American people. But when it came down to receiving death threats, a pipe bomb threat on my home, a pipe bomb threat on my family's construction company, multiple pizza doxing deliveries, and then ultimately very serious death threats on my own son.
Oh, wow.
That really was where it
Those Trump people went hard on her.
came to a point of me asking, what must I do to continue to be a representative? Must I be killed like Charlie Kirk, or watch one of my own children be murdered? And I think that comes to a point where any American can look at that and say that's a high bar and way too much to ask.
You were afraid, you were legitimately afraid for your safety and your family's safety after threats made against you following President Trump's comments about you.
Certainly. And unfortunately, threats are something that everyone has had to deal with in this stage of extremely toxic politics on the left and the right. We've watched it. The Minnesota lawmakers, Josh Shapiro's home being set ablaze, President Trump himself being shot at a Trump rally, and then Charlie Kirk assassinated on a college campus.
Some people get really passionate about this stuff. It's crazy.
Very real, and they have horrific consequences. And consequences, no matter if you're Democrat or Republican, that any elected official should ever have to go through, or their family should have to go through. My office has reported 773 death threats for me since I took office, and those are only the ones that came directly into the office and actually reached the accepted level of threat the Capitol Police tell us counts. It has to be direct. It can't be, I wish you would die. It has to be, I'm going to kill you. So that's how many death threats that we had reported over the years.
It's crazy.
That when direct death threats are sent on my own child, my son, because
That's
of the
messed
words
up.
of the president.
You guys, people should never bring kids into this. They're so innocent. Like, why? Well, who was gonna say that, man? It's crazy.
That's just too much, and I hope people can understand, which is completely ridiculous. I voted with him again 98% of the time, helped him get elected, and that's just a ridiculous thing to put on a.
I remember how obnoxious she was at those Congress things. Like, she would interrupt people and all that.
District that not only voted for President Trump,
And now he just threw her to the side. Like, get out of here. Get out of here.
Really,
Traitor. That's crazy. Going so hard for him and that happens. It's crazy.
Direction for the leader of a political party to try to go down and humiliate and try to beat one of his most loyal members of Congress. And I think that shows a true problem in the Republican Party.
I asked you this earlier, and you didn't seem like you wanted to say it, but everything you're saying now, I do want to ask you again, does it feel like the president betrayed you and your loyalty?
Well, I certainly, of course, definitely. That's exactly what it is. And, but it's unbelievable that a president of the United States wants to go after someone that has been so loyal and has voted with him 98% of the time, has legislation.
For real, like, let's see another YouTube video with that. I put Ted Agree being obnoxious. Let's see. There's a couple of videos I've seen where she was like super crazy. Congress. This is
spending. Thank you, Chair Lady.
Madam Chair, I have a unanimous consent.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. This is just from a couple of hours ago.
Without objection, so ordered.
The next one is Donald Trump's approval rating plunges in multiple polls.
Without objection, so ordered.
The next one, Donald Trump's approval rating. New polls show shakeup over Iran.
This was 5 months ago.
Without objection, so ordered.
The next one, Trump's approval rating dropped.
Without objection, so ordered. I hope you're not reading the same thing from your phone, which it looked like. I now
So for
recognize.
clarification,
I now recognize Mr. Lynch from Massachusetts for 5 minutes.
What? No, there's one. There's one she goes crazy. Wow, she's in 60 Minutes too. That was 2 years ago.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Roth, please explain to us why Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, or the representative from Georgia, was removed from Twitter.
Thank you for the question, Congressman. My recollection is that her personal account was banned from Twitter after repeated written notices due to repeated violations of the Twitter rules.
Can you add a little specificity to the violation of the Twitter rules?
Yes. Again, I didn't have access to my Twitter email, documents, anything that would have let me prepare to answer that in more detail, but my recollection is that the Congresswoman repeatedly violated Twitter's policies about sharing misinformation about COVID-19. She received multiple written warnings about that conduct. She received multiple timeouts related to that conduct. And then ultimately, consistent with the written and published policy, those repeated violations resulted in.
I'm trying to see the BS.
That's not the rule, Ms. Greene. I don't think a member.
That is the rule in Congress.
Well, but that's not the rule, Ms. Greene. I don't think a member.
That is the rule in Congress.
Well, then I'd like
I'd
like the parliamentarian to rule on whether any member of this committee has the right to interrupt.
I remember those mass days, yo.
In the name of a member of Congress.
You mentioned my name, Mr. Raskin.
Yeah, I'm not testifying.
Chair recognizes Ms. Greene.
Thank you, Mr.
For your
Chairman.
point of privilege, very briefly.
Thank you. For Mr. Roth, who made you in charge of what is true and what's not true?
Does she get to reopen her question?
No, that we'll go back to Mr. Gomez, and Mr. Gomez, please remember the decorum of the committee. The clock, we'll restart the clock now.
This one was outrageous, but whatever. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on to the immigration rates now. Where's my profile? So now we're going to the immigration rates. Like I said, people stop messaging me telling me that I'm obstructing. I'm just reposting videos, son. Like, it's easier for me just to keep them in my own page, so I don't have to go be looking at 1,000 links like I was doing on YouTube right now. You know? So stop saying them. Whatever. It was in Minneapolis. You got this guy. That's I think they said they were running plates. That's how they find them. Follow all my socials, GMV Pod, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram's with an O because somebody took my name, and then TikTok as well. This was they were going harder, and yesterday was like -20. Today is like -30. I haven't looked at they have any new people they've caught. They got him. This one was yesterday. This one got big because I guess ice rolled up on them, and then in the construction site, and they climbed on top of the structure. And I guess he got frostbite or something because they took him to the hospital after that. But one of them actually went down and gave himself up, and then the other one stayed there for I think like 7 hours. Hey, thank you for the follow on Facebook. Appreciate you. Wow, that must have been windy and cold. That was like 8 in the morning yesterday. He was there till like 4 in the afternoon.
Bang
van a subir por nosotros, dice. Llegaron más.
Oh, look, that guy's just laying there. Oh.
Muy valientes para dos.
I didn't realize it was laying there. I haven't seen this video completely. I uploaded it, but I didn't even see it that completely. That guy's planking over there. That must have sucked for both parties. ICE agents waiting for him, and then the other guy's waiting for them to leave. Why am I lagging?
Nos estamos resistiendo, pero el frío es demasiado.
He says we're trying to resist, but they close really hard.
No traen una orden para arrestarnos.
They don't have an order to arrest us. My boy's planking. It wasn't really cool, but that's pretty much it for that one. Oh, this one's so funny, yo. I saw this video and I started cracking up. So this is an ICE detention center in New Orleans, and then somehow they got a camera, the phone in there. I don't know how. I don't really know how they got the phone in there, but I've seen movies. How they get stuff in there. But this was so hilarious. So I'll try to translate. He says, Harry, because they're videotaping you. He's like, oh, they're filming us? I guess they're walking around. This is supposedly a nice detention center. No, it's not a bum beds. Oh man, when I saw this, I was like, what? And look what he says. That guy thinks he's a diva. That guy thinks he's a diva. What's going on? He's like, send hello, say hello to the people outside. Send greetings. Yeah, over here from the immigration detention center. Look at this guy. Look at this guy acting like a diva, bro. Look at this guy. He says we got bad bees in here. This guy actually believes he's a bad bee. Yeah. Oh, it's a city girl right there.
How are you, Sibylay?
That's crazy. Yeah, similar. That's crazy. They're just chilling over there. That was funny though. I was cracking up with that one. This was at Baton Rouge. I put playing hide and go see. It says, man, people be telling me stop saying report. All right, then I'm gonna come up with another name for this video. Oh, they're all running. Is that ICE right here? No, it's one of the guys. Oh, they're going to the forest. Oh man, I forgot. I can't play music. It's copyright stuff.
Now we can tell you that
this is the one that I was telling you guys that ICE is shifting from massive raids into targeted.
For the foreseeable future. Right now, we're going to be looking at targeted enforcement operations. Those are going to be individuals who have committed heinous crimes. Because remember, everybody who's crossed the border to this administration is a criminal. So just saying they're going after criminals is not necessarily enough anymore. They're going to be going after targets, people that they're on a docket, people that they know have committed crimes like rape, murder, things like that. But they're not going to necessarily be doing these sweeping raids. Now, we'll also see them on traffic stop enforcement as well. That's something that we can also see them doing, running license plates, seeing if someone is here legally illegally or not, and then making the apprehension through that. But we're not going to be seeing them necessarily grabbing people off the streets. Like now we can tell you that they are stopping.
That's pretty much the news so far. I posted that. Oh, Minnesota went hard. Those residents went hard for their people. There's another video coming up where they actually stopped ICE from going to like the supermarket to stop these people. But these guys were posted everywhere. You can see that this guy's running. He's like, here, give me a whistle. There's another guy here, another guy here. They were posted in their neighborhood. Look at that. Right here, right here. They were organized. But I wonder where all this money comes from, you know, because all that stuff costs money. They seem really organized. Yeah, oh, here they are, she says.
Mierda, me olvidé mi pito en la casa. Y yo el mío. No, yo ya le Esos son. Adiós, adiós. Váyanse. Ahí le van siguiendo el güero.
I wonder how they find them. This was 6 officers feeling threatened by 1 person. That's what I put it, because there is 6 of them. Like there's 1 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 inside the car, 6. I don't know why they get so freaking aggressive. Like the guy's basically behind the snow thing. And his knees. See, like that was not necessary. This guy obviously has the gas canister here, so if he was being a threat, just spray him. This guy's just doing too extra, in my opinion. Bro, the snow thing is in the way, bro. You got 6 of your agents next to you. You still feel scared? That's wild. And he was on his knees. This is the grocery one I was telling you guys about.
That doesn't make any sense. First of all, if he committed a crime in the state of Minnesota as an adult, that's a public offense. So you all can disclose it. So what is the crime?
So this is what we know from ICE. ICE said they have 1 person named Juan that they have to detain, and that person is inside Centromex. Don Henry has the right to say no to anyone to enter his business. So he went inside to talk to his wife, make sure his staff are in the know what's going on out here. They have not produced a warrant. They asked Don Henry if he was a citizen. They asked him to identify himself. Don Henry showed him his passport. They didn't ask me for my passport, but that's okay. It's called discrimination. So we're gonna stay here, guys. We're gonna just stay put. We gotta make sure that
That's what I'm saying, that they're like a human shield, so they wouldn't get the guy that was inside the grocery store.
You'll live on people doing this shit. You'll love it.
I'm tired, guys. I'm hungry too.
I think everyone here for sure. This might be
Yeah, so go the fuck back home.
I think at the end of this, they actually handshake with each other.
You look like a nice guy. Do you have a heart? We actually love you. God loves you. So let's be together. Don't do no shooting around me. I can't breathe. Don't do no shooting around me. I love you. Let's be family. Let's treat each other good. Let's show the media that we care for one another. Thank you, guys. Thank you for standing down.
They actually managed to not let ICE get inside there. It's crazy. But they all united and did that, you know? And I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I think what Trump's doing right now is already a little bit too late. He already traumatized a lot of people with the massive raids, with, you know, Border Patrol coming out the cars and chasing people at Home Depot. Like, the damage has been done. I don't think people trust the government anymore. The mistrust of the government has gotten so high, especially when they reported that they got a lot of U.S. citizens. And I've seen videos in my channel, you know, where I repost them. So
I'm glad y'all was. I'll pray for you. We'll pray for you. God bless you. God bless you. May He give you.
I ain't gonna lie, guys. I think my head out because man, I'm very hungry and I'm kind of sleepy. I woke up late yesterday. That Mexican restaurant, piñada. 13 seconds. So today's gonna be a short stream. I'm gonna try on Tuesday because I got a lot more videos to pop out. On Tuesday, I'm gonna be streaming with one of my cousins. So we're gonna be interviewing her. She's gonna be joining the network. So we're gonna be live streaming with her. Thank you guys for staying with me. I see you, the couple of people that have been here loyally watching me for an hour, and I appreciate that. Sorry to this a short stream, but I got a lot of stuff to do today. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one Tuesday. I'm definitely getting online Tuesday if everything goes well. Yep. So let me know. Review, comment, and subscribe to the channels. Thank you for the subscriptions. Violet Chelene, thank you for the follow. Mustafa Demi Porla, thank you for follow. Andres Mio, thank you for the follow. Gabby Catch, Mike Johnson, from YouTube, Manuel Mendez, Nicho, Mike, Maria, Teresa, Jennifer. Wow, we got lots of follows. Thank you everybody for the follows. I really appreciate you, and thank you for rocking me in this stream. And I'm gonna catch you. And like I said, I think this country needs a lot of healing, needs a lot of love. You know, violence is not the way. You know, if you're protesting, peacefully protest. You know, if you guys want to keep sending me videos, GMV Pod, and TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, and Instagram too is GMV Pod with a PO, letter 0D, because people have taken my name. I'm trying to get it back, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for the stream, staying with me with the stream, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon.